I wouldn't really be asked about the gift process if they were getting things that are done. Oh, well done, you completed that, thanks. Oh, well done, you done that, thanks. Instead of going, I wish you could do this for me as a gift. And this is what's happening now, innit? So instead of getting gifts before you get into power, complete it, then get gifts. If you're looking at this situation where they're paying gifts and big gifts and this, that and the other, and you not think it's all to do with influencing decisions or power, you're mad, mate. You're mad. You know what that is? You know when you hear me screaming about backhanders all over the gaff? That's a backhander, that gift. When he's getting them glasses, that Starmer, that's what you call a backhander in the corrupt world. He's just doing it blato because he had to. So all these politicians that are getting 75 grand backhanders and 20 grand holidays as a backhander, it's all to do with influence and lobbying. That's what they call it in America, lobbying. You'll have loads of rich people in the back lobbies of Parliament negotiating, trying to work out, promising this much dough and promising that much dough in return, contracts for this and da-da-da-da. And that's what they call it, lobbying. Lobbying, mates. And that's what Lord Ali is. He's a lobbyist. Do you understand? Lord Ali's not the only person that has paid for the pass to get round Parliament and walk round Parliament. He's the only one you've heard of. He's the only one you've heard of, and the only reason you're hearing of him is because he's Asian in his name. To be honest with you. You know, there's been people before him who were born in the country, billionaires, part of the system, who's been Arakastat there from London, who's been on some kids all his life. What can you do except ruin them? What can you do but destroy their families the way they're destroying ours? Not all of them are protected by armed police, mates. Yes, Andy. Obviously, I'm not condoning that, I'm not promoting that. But they're just scumbags, aren't they? Think about it, lad. Look how much money's going through that system. Look how much dough goes through that number 10, mate. And look how the majority of the people are living in the country, regardless of what they are. Doesn't matter what they are. How are you, Alex? How are you, Izzy B, lad? Free Palestine, mate. Leaving that shouts, just put you on a downer. So what do you think, lad? Do you support one force and not the other? Or do you dislike that force and the other? Do you look at it as, oh, it's this team v that team? Or do you look at the human loss in the whole situation? So we sit here and you're scared to have an opinion because if you've got an opinion on that and you've got an opinion on that, you're going to upset two type of people, aren't you? This type of person screaming at this person because this person, this country is screaming at that country because this country has killed loads of their women and children. That country is attacking this country because vice versa. You've killed women and children for years and years and years. Now you've got this one proclaiming to be the good in the situation, and you've got this one proclaiming to be the good in the situation. This one's blaming that for being bad, and this one's blaming that for being the bad. When in reality, the two sides are evil, dirty, horrible, and bastards for killing women and children the way they are. That's my opinion on it. Ignore the faith. This is about individual ways of thinking and choice making. It's not because he's a Muslim, he's making that decision. He's making that decision as an individual, as a man. It's like Keir Starmer is making all these decisions saying, we stand by yous as a United Kingdom, do we? Now you're making that decision as an individual who's making a choice. You're not representing every single British individual on the floor. And it's the same over there when they're making these choices to invade and kill women and children. It's not the whole Palestinian people that's encouraging this. It's not the whole of Israel that's encouraging this. It's evil, dirty that are just willing to wipe out thousands, if not millions, of women and children. I'm not just talking this year or last year. I'm talking over 100 years. Consistently killing women and children all over the gaff. And men. But men are there built for war. Women and children are there to procreate men of war, basically. They need to procreate men of war so they're protected. What are we protecting exactly? What are our homegrown born soldiers? What are they protecting on foreign land exactly? Think about it. I don't know how big the armed forces is, but how many are based here protecting us? And how many are based around the world protecting something we haven't got a clue about? Do you understand? And just like us, we get fed a certain curriculum to make us believe in a certain way so we can act in a certain way and do things a certain way. So do the kids who go into the army. So does that 16-year-old, 17-year-old that goes into the military. He's being conditioned at the highest level. Psychologically conditioned at the highest level. Them kids, by the time they're 21, 22, if they're not dead through war, them kids firmly believe when they're going to foreign land, invading them lands, they are protecting their women and children back home. This is what these kids believe. They believe it. Right into the core, that's what they believe. Because that's what they're getting conditioned to believe when they go into the army. Unfortunately for us, that's what's happening. So what happens now in the big fairy of things that you're looking at? We've heard for 2 years. I was one of them. I think I screened it first on YouTube. These aren't immigrants, these are soldiers. Look at them, look at the age category, look at the physicality, look how healthy they are. Do you understand? I was on it time ago. So if that is the case, if that is an army on our shores, who've we got to protect us exactly? The authorities that are meant to be protecting us and having our interest in heart have granted these soldiers permission to be on your streets and start telling you what to do and controlling all the shit. All our soldiers, your boys, your sons, your cousins, your brothers, our people born and bred, regardless of what city you're from, they're our boys. They're going to be locked out this country. They're going to be carrying out orders like they're told to, like they're taught to, like they're conditioned to do. What are we going to do if this is what it's meant to be? And all our soldiers are based in Cyprus, based in Syria, based in Ukraine, based in all these other European countries where once the waters and the airways are shut, they can't get back to us. The military at Romania to coach the army that's on the deck from NATO. All the other military, all the other manpower is around the world protecting other people. It's mad, isn't it? And when you start awfulising that, if you awfulise that situation, it's simple. Okay, so they've just got a full army of men into the country. What for? Okay, yeah, so there's an army here. What's it for? What comes next? The door's getting kicked off the hinges, anyone who's a threat getting put in jail. Is this what's coming next? Have you even thought around that line? Are they going to start sweeping streets? From door to door to door to door? Anyone of a certain fighting age, bang, get in there. Anyone that's on the list that they've created in the last 2 years thanks to Tommy Robinson, are their doors getting knocked on first? Are they getting told straight first? And this is, you know, if they've been rolling soldiers in like a load of people think to believe is what they're doing, they're not just rolling soldiers in, you know, they're laying the grounds. They're getting ready, so when it's time to go, they haven't got to worry about let's locate him, let's go locate him. They know where you are, they know the targets they need to get to. Just like they'll treat you all like Julian Assange. Wouldn't give a until they've implemented what they're doing and they're convinced you've bowed down to what they've done. You're just going to be stuck in there like a pot. If you resist, you'll get labelled. What as? Terrorist, militia, militants, all them titles. So what happens is you'll start resisting, or you'll start fighting for freedom, and they will call you a resistant movement. Just like you see around the world now, where they've done what they've already done. So you'll be considered as a resistant movement when in reality you're a freedom fighter. If you're just out protesting, that's what you'll be considered. A resistant movement. If you start smashing government buildings and targeting MPs, well then now you become a militant group. If you start blowing buildings up and assassinating MPs, well now you're a terrorist group. And that's the way it is. This country gets invaded. Our military's backing the invaders. So now we've got to fight for any little things we can have. We become freedom fighters to our people. To them, we're a resistant movement, so we start getting targeted, they start picking us off, which riles our people up more, and we start getting bigger numbers, and we start getting more dangerous. So we start attacking them back, because we've just had our brothers shot dead next to us. Now we're fighting back in the same sort of manner, so now we get labelled something a bit more serious. Hopefully, our people in Ireland, our people in other countries around see what's going on and start shipping to us so the fight lasts. Hopefully, we'll have hundreds if not thousands of young, born, solid men willing to sacrifice their lives for the freedom of their country. Because that's the way it'll go. We'll have our own Bobby Sands in the hundreds doing hunger strikes up and down the country in prisons. This is the way it'll go, I hope. If it goes that way, I hope all men start realising what we're up against and why we're up against it. And commit to sacrificing life to save the life of the children. That's what it's about at the end of the day, lad. In my eyes, anyway. What I believe in. But you can sit there, plot it, prepare your mind, get everything sorted. If it hits the fan, I'm going to be doing A, B, C, D. Don't be waiting for it to hit the fan and then go, okay, let's make a plan of what we're doing next. Have that plan in place. Do it now, do it early. Look at the situation like it's the awfulest you're going to see. Like it's the worst situation you're looking at, and prep for that. If that situation comes along, well then you're ready for it. If that situation doesn't come along, well then you were ready for it. It's all good. At least you were ready. isn't it? So just prep your mind, lad, for the worst situation and everything you're going through. Awfulise it to the maximum effect, but don't worry about it. You're in a situation now, it's wrecking your head, it's doing damage to whatever's going on there, and you just want to sort it out. You're a little bit scared, you're a little bit shook, you don't really know where it's going to end up. So assess the situation properly. Awfulise it to the hilt. What is the worst that can happen in that current situation you find yourself in? What's the worst? Alright, now you've identified what's the worst outcome of this problem. Deal with it. Prep for that. If it comes out that it didn't get to that worst position in that problem, it just ended up here, you're going to deal with that a lot better, aren't you? But the point I'm making is, when you're doing that process of awfulising a situation, yeah, for example, I'm sitting there, I'm in jail, I'm looking big prison. I'm in this situation, I'm assessing it. Now I can sit here and big myself up and give myself false hope and give myself all sorts of to make me convince myself that I'm not getting 35 years. Okay? Now I'm convincing myself I'm going to beat this charge. I'm going to beat this. I'm getting a not guilty. And even if the even if the evidence is stacked against you, because you've been thinking like that, you still think you're going to beat this charge. And then on the day of calling, you get found guilty and you get given a 35 rec. You are finished. Finished. You weren't expecting that. That came out the blue. Hit you right on the chin and knocked you right on your ass, and now you can't get back up off it. Finished. You're not finishing that 30 rec, kid. Do you understand what I'm saying? What did I do? As soon as I got my conspiracy to murder charge, what did I do? I'm getting a guilty. I'm getting a 35 rec. This is all happening while I'm on remand. And because I started thinking like that, I started behaving accordingly. Right, get ready for this, lad. This is your life. This is you now. You've come in here when you're 24, you're getting out of here when you're in your 60s, lads. This is what I'm talking to myself. You need to start getting with it now. Take it on the chin when it comes. Prep yourself for it. And this is what I've done, I prep myself. So even though I'm going to trial with call to lose. I know I'm getting wrecked off at the end of this. I've just got nothing to lose, let's go for it. I'm going in that mentality, yeah, I'm getting a guilty, but what have I got to lose? Might as well chance me luck. Whereas you'd have other kids, I'm going to get acquitted, I'm sat there going, if I get acquitted, happy days, but if I don't, you know, it's sweet, I know what's coming. So here I go, bam, 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 go through it, all my codees, get acquitted. I'm not arsed. I'm still looking at a 35 on my chin in my mind. I get guilty. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much preparation you do for your mind, when you get a guilty and that reality hits home, trust me, it can knock you on your arse, mate. You get the butterflies, you get the wobbly legs, because you know you're getting a 35 rec coming your way, regardless how much you've prepped yourself. But you're going to handle it 10 times better than someone that hasn't prepped himself. That's the point I'm making. It's still going to hit you on the chin when you get you guilty. Doesn't matter how much headstrong you've been for 2 years remand. When you're there and it hits home and that judge is giving you what he's about to give you, you're feeling it. I don't give how mad you are, how crazy you are, or what. You're feeling this situation right now. But you're ready for it. And you're fully expecting to get a 35 on the chin. And out the blue he says, I'm sentencing you under the old law and I'm giving you a straight 18-year sentence. Imagine me. Imagine the relief. Imagine me purposely putting in my head, I'm getting wrecked off, 35, this is me done. So imagine me thinking that for 2 years at least. And now all of a sudden, I can be out in 9 years. I'm not doing a 35 rec. Imagine the elation. Imagine the relief of the stress. Even if I would have went in there expecting a 35 wreck and I got an 18 wreck, I would have been over the moon with the 18 wreck. That's the way it works, honest to God. So prep yourself. If the worst doesn't happen, at least you're conditioned to take it on the chin. If something less happens than that, you're buzzing. Is that all that can happen out of this situation? I'm not even worried. You're arguing with your bird, it's an horrible, blah blah blah. You sat there in a mess thinking, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Just come off. Get off. Especially if there's not kids there. Do you think this is going to get better? You're 19, your bird's 19, you've been together for a little year, and now you're arguing on a regular basis. Where do you think this is going, kid? I want to tell you what you're doing to yourself. Fucking your head up for the next one. Pull yourself away from it, now. 2 years. Back out of it. You aren't going nowhere, mate. You're going to think you're going somewhere. You're going to argue. As you get older, you probably party somewhere, have a little drink here, have a little whatever over there, boom, that arguing's more intense. Before you know it, you're throwing items at each other, blah, 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 more drink, more drugs, more insecurities, more words getting screamed while you're pissed, more untrust in relationship, all poisonous and horrible, toxic. Just get the f*** out of it, mate, because you're going to be in a mess in 10 years off it. You're going to bring kids into it and everything like a horrible selfish